All right. Good morning, everyone. Brad Roltgen here with the Fresno Bitcoin and cryptocurrency investors. Today, we are talking about exchanges, which ones we should use, how many we need, and hopefully not go crazy trying to use too many of them because it can get out of hand. I hear a lot of questions on forums and Telegram and people posting. They're like, what is the best exchange? And I hate that question because there is no best exchange. The better question is, what's the best exchange for Ripple, or what's the best exchange for Tron, or what's the best exchange for Theta, that kind of thing, because they're not all created equal and that type of thing. So I tell people that the question, or the answer to that question, is what's the best exchange for each coin, is to start at coin market cap, which I've got up on the screen here. And so what you want to do is, let's see, somebody give me a coin, and we're going to do some kind of just live research. What is a coin that you guys are interested in, maybe you just heard about, you want to get a little more information on, and that kind of thing? Oh, Doge. I don't know if that one should count. Anybody have something better than Doge? Oh, Hex. There we go. Okay, Hex. Thank you. Let's search up here for Hex. I don't know anything about that one, so we'll all learn together. Okay, so I searched for Hex up in the search bar, and it brought this up. This is kind of the main detail page for Hex in CoinMarketCap. What is? I see like there's a blue line on my screen. I don't know if it's on my screen. That's strange. Okay. All right. So here's the chart. Looks like they launched back in January of last year, and started actually having some activity here. So that's okay. Or it's good to have some activity, and this is one of the few coins that hasn't gone down over the past couple months. So that's good as well. But for exchanges, we want to click on the market tab right here. And this is going to show us the exchanges that it's available on. Sorry, somebody has texted. Oh, good. Somebody's requesting access. Let me switch to that page so I can click on you guys real quick here. Actually, do it on the. Come on. All right. In just a second, I'll get you guys all plugged in. Okay, one more. Okay. All right. So I think you guys are all shared in there. So feel free to add comments, questions, that kind of thing. Okay. So back to Hex here. So the number one, normally they show up in order here based on the volume. But in this case, we've got the biggest volume, number 2. I don't know what this symbol right here means. Oh, it's a DEX tool. Huh. Does anybody know anything about that? Let's click on it in a new tab here and see what's going on. I wonder if that's some kind of sponsorship that Coinbase is doing. You'll see, or I'm sorry, CoinMarketCap is doing. When they have these buy exchange up here links, these are actually sponsorship kind of things. I'm wondering if they're doing that now down here in the listings. Like these guys just paid 5 cents because I clicked on it or something like that. But here's where you want to look at to determine the markets that trade for this coin. So Uniswap is a decentralized exchange. So those are a little harder to work with. But a lot of us like the decentralized exchange. Shows the other coins that it's traded against. So in this case, if you see the W, that stands for a wrapped version of that coin. which I don't understand why it would be wrapped on Uniswap. Normally what you see is you'd have a wrapped version of Bitcoin on an Ethereum chain, or a wrapped version of Ethereum on a Binance chain, that kind of thing. But regardless, go ahead.
What is a wrapped coin? I haven't looked into that.
Yeah, it's basically just a representation of that coin on another network. So like on the Binance smart chain, it's a way that you can trade in and out of Bitcoin without having to go to the Bitcoin network.
Oh, so is it basically it's a blockchain, but not the Bitcoin blockchain?
Right. It's done on a different blockchain.
Okay.
So like
coins are on its own blockchain, tokens are on a different one. So wrapped by definition is always a token, because it's Bitcoin or Ethereum done on a non-Bitcoin or Ethereum blockchain.
I'm not going to define between token and coin. That's a whole nother thing. But it's a way to represent that coin on a non-native blockchain. How about that?
Yeah, that's the definition.
Yeah.
Okay.
So people wanted to basically have a position in that coin, but not have to go to that one. And how it works in the background to make sure that the value is the same and all that, I don't understand. But they're also doing that for stocks. I don't know if you've seen that. There's some where, and those are more done on these liquidity pools like Pancake Swap and or their exchanges. But in their liquidity pools, they have a version, or farms, where they'll have like a Tesla stock and that kind of thing, which it's getting crazy. What I guess, as long as it works, it gets a little crazy. All right, but back to exchanges. So normally what you want to do, if you want to exchange this coin, you want to use the exchanges near the top of this list as opposed to the bottom, because the bottom has very low volumes. And so your transactions are going to go through slower. You might not get as good of a price, that kind of thing. And you scroll up, the first, I'm guessing these other ones are probably decentralized exchanges. So the first centralized exchange, Bitmark, here has 77% of the volume for that coin. So just getting started, that's probably the place to go for that coin. Simplicity and easy. If you're familiar with Uniswap and are already working there, then obviously you could go there. But for those that aren't, you'd want to, in this case, go to Bitmart. And yeah, these other ones are really, really low numbers. So let's try another one.
But for the low confidence rate means that sometimes there are issues with it, right?
Yeah, I'm not, I haven't seen, here's like kind of their definition. Indicates the level of confidence we have that the reported volume is accurate.
Okay.
So that would be, and I could see that. Yeah, so it's lower on these centralized exchanges, because centralized, they could kind of do and say whatever they want. When you're trading in a centralized exchange, it's all paper until you withdraw. But on these decentralized, and that's why they're higher confidence, because all of their transactions are on the blockchain and anybody can check. And I'm sure CoinMarketCap is doing that. So yeah, that's a good point. That I don't know, maybe this 77 is really 30 or something. It's still a big number, relative. If there was 2 or 3 that were at 20 and one had a higher confidence, then that would probably be the way to go. Especially if it's an exchange you've heard of. Bitmart, I don't know how long they've been. Let's click on that one, because that came up in another coin. I forget which one I was looking at, and it was the only centralized one at the time. And I'm like, and so I jumped on it, and it seemed to work fine and everything, but didn't know much about it. And see, it's been around since 2018, based in the Cayman Islands, offices in New York, China, Hong Kong, and Seoul. Okay, seems pretty legit. Okay. And then so on this page, you can see which coins that exchange trades, which, you can go to the exchange itself and see that, but that's kind of interesting. Sometimes if you see, oh, wow, hex is number 3 for them as far as volume. So that's interesting. Yeah, so obviously they're the big player there. Let's see, anybody else have a different coin? Here we go. Let's see, RSR. All right, Andy, I like these things I've never heard of. That's why I can learn too. But maybe we're gonna have to quiz you about these coins in a second. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. This is a standard crypto where it had its nice run a little bit and then came down with everything else. Okay, so this is a very common looking list of exchanges with Binance on the top. Keep in mind, this is Binance.com, not Binance.us, which is the one for us lowly US citizens. So most of us can't, use Binance.com. The way to use it would be with a VPN, if you want to do that. But just so you don't get confused between Binance.com and Binance.us. Then the other thing you want to look at is what coin they're trading it against. This number 1 position is against USDT, which is Tether and is the stable coin for the dollar. There's a lot more interest in trading against the USDT these days, I think, because it's easier to think in terms of dollars. And also, obviously, it doesn't change value like Bitcoin. 2 years ago, Bitcoin was the dominant coin that everything was traded against. But it is harder to think in terms of Bitcoin. And then obviously, as the price of Bitcoin goes up and down, that's an issue as well. So when you see these different exchanges listed here, you can know ahead of time which coins you're going to need to trade against that. And also don't get confused between USDT and USD or USDC are different stable coins. But USDT is definitely the most common one as far as stable coins against the dollar. So like if back in the day, there used to be quite a few that would trade against Litecoin and Ethereum. You don't really see that as much. But just know that if you're going to that exchange, this is the coin you're going to want to bring to the exchange to trade against RSR, that kind of thing. Andy, give us a little rundown on what RSR is, as long as we've researched it for a second here.
I really don't know a lot about RSR. I just know Peter Thiel from PayPal's involved. So it pretty much caught my eye. I pretty much followed Peter Thiel.
Okay.
So if he was interested in it, I just dabbled a little bit, not a lot, early days.
Okay.
Still holding it, waiting for a Coinbase release. I think Coinbase as well might be involved with it as far as Coinbase Ventures goes. So I'm waiting for them to release it on Coinbase and then probably scale out of it.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I got it early days on Uniswap back when it was 0.00, pretty much less than a penny.
Good. Yeah. Some you jump in there and you hold them for a while and hope for the best. Other ones you just end up holding for a while and nothing ever happens.
Right.
So
yeah. What got me involved was Peter Thiel, basically. Just follow the smart money.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Anybody have any comments or questions on using CoinMarketCap up till now, or have you guys used any other features in here? There's obviously they have these other tabs here for all these other aspects of that coin. I haven't gotten into that. The market one is the one that I use all the time and try to direct people to. Any other comments there, guys? All right.
You can create your own portfolio. So if you just want to look at coins you're interested in, you don't have to scroll.
Right. Yeah, and there's some different apps for that to do that kind of thing. And I haven't really done that, but that's definitely a useful way because there's so many to try to look at. Usually, what I do is I'll just start at the main one, the top of the page, and I'll scroll down to Theta. and see how Theta is doing. That's my long-term one, and then go from there. What's interesting is seeing where it's at if it's at like 18 now, or, a week ago it was at 22, or, whatever. And just to kind of see how they jump around as far as the position. And I think it's more at this point where other coins are pushing them down, like, Matic here has come up, and the Solana, I mean, it's, 3 or 4 months ago, no one had heard about it, type of thing. So it's interesting to see where the coins are at. Binance, yes, Binance is still at 4. Okay, good. Okay.
Brad,
Yeah.
question for you. Why do you say Dogecoin does not qualify?
It's just kind of been the biggest, the biggest discussed coin over the past couple months, with Elon Musk pushing it and that kind of thing. But let's take a
Is
look
it
at.
one of his creations?
No, he's just been pimping it, I mean, on Saturday Night Live and the whole thing. So many, to me, it's been like overdone, kind of thing. But I think it's helped to bring people into crypto, or had them look at crypto, which I think is a useful thing. So I'm actually doing a class on it just to try to, attract some people that may have only heard about it on Robinhood or this kind of thing. Because, I'm kind of anti Robinhood, anti eToro, when you can't even.
Why are you anti Robinhood?
Well, you cannot send coins to Robinhood, or you can't extract coins out of Robinhood, because they're basically just exchanging paper. The only thing that goes in and out of those exchanges is US dollars. So
He means he's anti-crypto on Robinhood.
there you go. Right, because they do the other stuff. Yeah. And see, that's an aspect we don't consider, because it was stocks. We're used to the brokers holding the certificates and that kind of thing. But in crypto,
if anyone wants to trade, I actually have an opportunity they can get into where they can learn to trade their own funds.
Yeah, we can talk about that another time. Let's stay focused on the exchanges here. I know we've got we've talked about trading bots and stuff before, but yeah, maybe you guys put comments in the chat, or even at the bottom of the spreadsheet, on other future topics that you'd like to talk about. And obviously trading is a big part, but I'm trying to do the ones that we haven't done for a while, and or have a lot of people interested. Yeah, thanks, Jesse. Dogecoin was created as a joke over a weekend, gained notoriety. Funny, yeah. What's hilarious now is all these other dog-related coins that are coming out, or whatever. So everybody's trying to jump on the bandwagon. So maybe in a couple months we'll see how easy or hard it is to launch our own coin and understand that a little better. But let's look
Who
at
wants
Doge
to
here.
launch a coin? I'm game.
Yeah, join us in September. We're going to be talking about that. Okay, so back to Doge here. Again, Binance is huge on that one. So for example, here, if you're in the US, which I think most of us are, what we do is kind of go down this list until we find a US exchange. So here's we've got Coinbase, which I think this is the first one I've ever seen with Coinbase listed, because normally they're not even listed, because their I'm guessing because their volume is so small. But with Doge and Coinbase so easy to get into and linking to a bank account, I'm thinking that's that's gotten a lot of people into the game, which is a positive, I think. Other than that, Binance.us here would be the first. Well, I'm not sure about BitThumb, but what did I do now? Sorry about that. Back to Doge. There we go. So if you were looking to trade this and didn't want to do Coinbase, you'd look at Binance.us and then KuCoin. KuCoin, I had set up an account back in, I think, 17 with them, and used them a couple times and kind of just never went back to it. But it was probably 6 months ago now. Here on one of our meetings, somebody mentioned Theta, where can I buy Theta? And KuCoin came up. And ever since then, I started looking at KuCoin, and it's like they keep coming up. And I'm like, wow, they keep, they're higher and higher in my mind on good exchanges. So we'll get a little more of
So
that.
Brad, a note on KuCoin, because for a long while I stayed away from them because I heard about their hack. But so, and also I didn't want, as we're talking about exchanges, I really wanted to keep my bank account linking limited to the number of platforms having it in case of hacking.
For sure.
Which is what we're talking about today. How do we limit that exposure? And what I found out about KuCoin, which I wish I knew beforehand, they do not link a bank account, unlike Coinbase or Kraken or some of the others, Voyager. It is strictly, you strictly enter KuCoin through another crypto, like Bitcoin or Ethereum or Tether or Algo. No fiat. They don't deal with fiat at all.
Well, that's changed a little bit recently.
Really?
I know they do. They have a processing by Simplex and another credit card, debit card processor.
Oh, credit cards. That's right. You can get in through credit cards.
Yeah,
The fees are a bit high.
Yeah.
Card.
And that's a good point. Fees are always the highest using a debit or a credit card, so that's the least.
Right, but at least you have the credit card as a buffer to your bank account. But they don't have the direct bank account link.
Yeah. And for that, you pay the fee.
Yeah. And I have to say that KuCoin, I mentioned the hack, but they covered all the losses of their customers. So all of a sudden, I became much more impressed by the handling of it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, and they offer some other things here.
Yeah, and the fees are good. It's not like a Simple Swap, for example. I used to do a write-up on how to buy Theta through Simple Swap, and I do not do that anymore because Simple Swap is very expensive with respect to their fees.
Yeah.
I just go to KuCoin and get what you need. And
what are our KuCoin's fees? Do you remember?
They're lower. I think they're also competitive. They're under that 0.3%.
Okay.
Okay, so if you're in Coinbase Pro, if you're in Coinbase, it's 1 point whatever percent. If you're in Coinbase Pro, you'll start at like 0.35% or lower. Voyager doesn't advertise the fees, but Voyager's fees are embedded at 0.3%, to give you an example of comparisons.
Okay, yeah, because I was looking when I was doing some trading with this trading app back in May, June of last year. The fees became a big issue because it was like, okay, we've got to overcome the fees just to break even. And at the time, Bittrex was 0.2%, so which worked out to 0.4% in and out of a trade. And then, so even a 1% gain, you only gain 0.6%. But Binance was half of that, only 0.1%. So that was pretty good. And I know some of them have sliding scales where the more you trade, the lower it goes, or sometimes they give you credits towards trading or something like that kind of thing.
Right.
So, okay.
Oh, Brad, I just have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, on KuCoin, I know I tried to set it up a couple of weeks ago. I went through the process, but the dilemma was I set up the password as I logged in. It still didn't recognize it. So I had to delete it, start over again to authenticate it. It still will not allow me to log in. And two, the dilemma too is their support is terrible on most of actually majority of the exchanges, because you go to try to get some help. It either takes days, weeks, or months to just to get a response. So you're kind of in limbo if you have any funds or coins in the exchange trying to pull it out or exchange it over.
Yeah. Yeah. When you said that this support on all the crypto exchanges is basically zero, and then a little more than zero if you're lucky, type of thing. So just kind of keep that in mind. Don't expect a lot. I know some of them will even reply when you do a support ticket or something, allow 2 weeks, or that kind of thing. See, I was working with somebody, I think it was with Binance.us, and they actually got consistently we're getting responses within a couple days. And I was like pleasantly surprised, at that. So, kudos for them, but you're right. It's just a challenge. So you got to be careful when you're like, if you forget the password and you're typing in all kinds of passwords and all of a sudden they lock your account, that's almost the death knell sometimes, because it might take you a week or two to get it unlocked, that kind of thing. Sometimes they'll freeze the accounts for 24 hours, and then you can go back in and try again. So don't be too aggressive with trying different passwords. Use the forgot password option. And then you definitely want to set up the two FA, the two-factor authentication. And I like the Google Authenticator for that. The other option that they kind of default to is sending you a text message. Sometimes if the text, there's some issues with texting, or that, their texting service, and you don't get the text to authenticate, then you're kind of stuck. So the Google Authenticator helps with that. Did you end up getting back into the account, or are you still kind of frozen out?
Frozen out. I have no access. I can't even get in.
Okay. And did you try both of your email and your phone number?
Yes.
Okay. Because I've had some people that started with their phone number, or actually I had one person that started with an email address that didn't work. They got like frozen out because their authenticated number with that account was, that phone number changed. They got a new cell phone. So then they started a new account under a different email address. But when they went to put in their social security number, they said, oh no, we already have an account under that. And they wouldn't let that account go any farther. So, they're doing their best to make sure that legitimate people are in there, doing these accounts. So, yeah, be aware of that. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll add that I had opened a Binance account, got a basic account, and wanted to increase the volume. And apparently when I put my original address in to verify, I must have done a typo. So as I put all my paperwork in, I just kept getting bounce backs that the paperwork they needed more paperwork. And then I went through that several times until I realized there must be a typo somewhere. And I contacted them. I probably contacted them 5 times with different paperwork and on their,
support tickets and
charge
stuff.
support ticket. The bottom line is, forget about it. It's just not going to work. So I'm actually going to delete my Binance account. You just completely delete it and start from scratch again, maybe with a different email, or we'll see.
Well, and see, that's the trick, is if or did you get to the point where you entered a social security number?
No, I'm on there. Yeah. That's
Okay.
why I have to delete it and then see what I can do. It's not a big deal for me because I don't use Binance. I have other sources.
Okay.
But I want to go through the process anyway. But right now, like a lot of them, their customer service is pretty crappy. The only, and Coinbase also, I've had tickets out with them and they just expire.
Expire. I didn't know that.
I mean, I'll say expire, but they just go on and on and on, and they don't get resolved. And then eventually they'll send you something that if you don't respond, they'll say, okay, this is closed, after a couple months.
Yeah.
The only one that I've heard good news from with respect to customer service, and that's just changed because Voyager grew so fast, earlier this year. The customer service was good, and then it was lousy because they went from a few 100,000 people to 1.5 million.
Right.
And at that point, they were completely overwhelmed, and people weren't hearing back, and it was a real mess. And some people were saying, we love the service, but we can't recommend it at this time. Let them catch up. President said it'll take me 4 months to catch up, and it looks like he's caught up now. With having people, because the response now seems to be the customer service is responding and is good, and he's doing the right things.
Yeah, that's good to hear. But yeah, it is challenging. Now Voyager, that's the one that's only on an app. You can't do it.
That's right.
Yeah. because I haven't played with that one. I've heard a lot of people using it. And tell me, what's the advantage? Why are so many people using it? What's the advantage?
They have yeah. First, they're a public company out of Canada. Okay, so they have, great KYC paperwork,
Okay.
all of that SEC, you can buy their stock. I don't remember what it's around 16 or so, thereabouts. Their app is very clean and very easy to use. And I haven't traded with them yet, but I will be to test them out. Like I said, their fees don't look to be, that they advertise like no fee or something like that, but there is a fee. It's embedded. What they'll say on their app is that it's 0.3%, give or take. Okay, which is competitive with Coinbase Pro level of I think 0 to 50K trading. So it's competitive, but it's not 0.1.
Yeah,
like some others. The other thing is it's simple. It's really simple, and they do staking. They give you a lot of interesting options, and it's just clean and easy.
Okay. Good. So that does make sense. Was there? There might have been like one of these smart contracts or something that were recommending people use it. Does it support Tron?
Let me look.
I don't know. I was just
They
trying
have
to,
little-
I've heard so many people mention it that I was just trying to figure out what the tie-in was.
They have their own coin, of course, the Voyager coin.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was part of it, and people are trying to get in on that.
Yeah, and I think it's probably like Qcoin. If you hold a certain number,
Right.
it
Kind of
reduces
staking
your
it.
fee.
Oh,
your
okay.
overall
Okay, they're
fee.
doing that too.
But here, I'll give you a look at their when you do it. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. Nah, you can't.
Yeah, I can't really see it too much.
Yeah. Anyway, it flips constantly. The price is showing green or
Or
red, up
updated.
or
Yeah.
down.
Okay.
It's easy.
Okay. Well, let me just finish up a little on KuCoin here.
Yeah.
One of the features that's nice that's built in is this KuCoin trading bot. And I had somebody tell me about this about 6 months ago, and they were just really impressed with it. And they were actually doing it. And he said that they actually had more options for it on their app, which I always find interesting because it seems like it'd be easier to build in a website than an app, but that's okay. Because we're doing both with everything these days anyway. So they've got this trading bot option, and you can go in and pick one of these kind of strategies where I'll buy it when it hits 2 and then sell it when it hits 3, and as it bounces around, you kind of deal. Or there's all these other strategies. I don't know these, the definitions and all these, because I'm not big on the trading part, but if you are, you might want to look at this. Just because it's a built-in feature, it obviously is linked to your KuCoin account. There's other trading bots and things out there that link to multiple account or exchanges, but this is kind of all built in, so that makes it nice. So yeah, and here it talks about running 10 bots, trading all the time. If you really don't want to sleep or follow this kind of stuff, wow, it gets crazy. So nice thing there for KuCoin. Again, it does function with the debit card. Okay, here, buy crypto. You can buy with the debit card. Now they mentioned P2P bank transfer. So we won't get into it, but it doesn't look like it's a standard link to a bank account like I've seen with other accounts. Some of these will let you wire transfer funds to the exchange, and usually those are bigger amounts. Like I had a friend that got set up with Binance.us, and he could only send $5,000 a day from his bank account, but he could send a lot more with a wire transfer. So he sent, and so we were trying to do something. I was going to help him move something around, and he's like, oh, I can't do it with a bank transfer, I'm gonna have to do a wire transfer. I'm like, oh gosh, it's gonna be a couple days. But it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon that he told me that. He goes, I just sent it over. And I'm like, okay, we'll reschedule for another day. And like 4 o'clock, he's like, yep, the funds are there. And I'm like, holy cow. So I was impressed with that. And it wasn't even from a big bank, but got to Binance.us in just, yeah, like 3 or 4 hours kind of thing. So look at that as an option. If you're looking to transfer larger, over $5,000, $10,000, a wire transfer might be the way to go. There are some exchanges, I can't remember the one I saw offhand, that will let you wire transfer out of the exchange back to your bank, which is another way, Deborah, like if you don't want to give them, link your bank account, but if you could wire, that would be an option to get, when you make $1 million on Theta, you can get it out.
Yeah,
back to
wire
cash.
transfers they're lousy because of the time lag.
Yeah, that's why I was so excited with that one. Okay, so you guys are not filling out as much detail in this Google Doc as I was hoping for. So let's at least kind of go through some of these questions here to cover that. So the best crypto, or what is the best crypto exchange? Again, it's kind of a moot or a bad question. So it really depends on your coin, which coin you're trying to do that. You're probably going to need more than one exchange. I would get, at least have 2 or 3, just in case you get frozen out or something happens on one, you have the ability to trade on another type of thing. You might need a second exchange. For example, you're using Binance.us because you can link it to your bank account, but you cannot buy Theta or Tron or maybe some other coin you're interested on Binance.us because they are pretty limited in the coins that they support. It's kind of funny because Binance.com literally supports everything, and Binance.us is like 100 or 80 coins type of thing. So in this case, you might want to have a Binance.com, I'm sorry, Binance.us account linked to your bank account, so you could transfer over $500, buy USDT, for example, send that over to KuCoin, and use that USDT to buy Theta or to buy Tron, or something that's not listed on Binance.us. So that would be an example where you'd want to have at least 2 exchanges. You may not want to have one bank account linked to more than one exchange. I know a few years ago there was something where the banks were kind of anti-crypto, and so I've kind of limited my bank account linking to like secondary banks that I use, like we got like a credit union I use here, once in a while. So I actually link more cryptos to that, because if they shut that account down, it's not going to be a big deal compared to my main checking account. I'm not saying that that's a big problem, but just something to think about, just the way some of these banks are operating in the crypto world. For example, there was somebody who was trying to purchase using Simplex. It's the credit card, debit card processor that KuCoin uses, and they're popular with others as well. So they were trying to buy or put $1,000 into whatever exchange, and they were doing it with their Fidelity Investments credit card, and it didn't go through. And so he called them and said, hey, what's going on? I've been with you guys for 30 years, blah, 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 blah. And they're basically, we're not going to send funds to a crypto entity type of thing, was their answer. And it's like, oh, really? So now you're deciding what I can spend my money on. Okay, that's how you want to play, but that's reality. So don't be surprised if you get feedback or issues like that. And I don't know if they, in that instance, if they like if they would allow you to link your a brokerage checking account or whatever to a KuCoin, but they wouldn't allow the credit card to go. I don't know. So just be aware that that's kind of an issue with the traditional financial institutions. when dealing
Because
with
it's money leaving the system. When money leaves the system, they lose.
exactly.
So they're crying, screaming, whiny, childish children.
Yeah, and now they're trying to play catch up, that kind of thing. So yeah. Okay, a few questions we got in here. Let me kind of catch
Right.
up because now you guys are doing now you're bearing me here. All right. Let's see. Okay. Just use KuCoin. It paid 0.7% on a small amount. Okay, yeah, less than $100. That makes sense on the smaller ones. Just want to purchase. Okay, Renee. Bittrex now links to bank accounts. You said in your note here, it said that it only takes wire transfers. They now will link to bank accounts, and they actually have a smooth process for doing that because they use this service called Plaid that will use your
It's played.
Plate. Okay, sorry, thank you.
They actually have a coin on Coinbase, and if you go through the little learning videos regarding it, you can actually get some played simply for watching the videos. But played is being utilized in the middle of transactions to allow them to clear faster. I noticed it when I was assisting a friend of mine buying some crypto yesterday while we were making transfers between her account and the crypto. Played was utilized to clear the transaction.
Okay, I don't know if that's the same, but it sounds like it's the same entity. But what they
PLAID.
yeah, to make it quick, is they're linked with the various banks, so they'll prompt you to log into your online bank account through their little interface on Bittrex. And then if you've got a checking and a savings at Chase, it'll say, okay, which account do you want to link? You just click on it, and then you're there. So there's none of this doing a couple trial deposits and checking back in 2 days to verify and all that kind of stuff. So linking the bank account on Bittrex is pretty slick. So
By the way, what's with the whole bit with Simplex Elastium or Simplex by Elastium not allowing a transaction of more than $2,000 or $3,000?
I haven't hit that issue as far as the dollar amount. I know Simplex has been weird based on what state you're in. Like, let's see, what have I heard? I've heard that in Washington, they don't support Binance or Tron. And then in another state, they didn't support like Hawaii or New York at all. And others in other states. So I don't know what the deal is there, but I haven't heard anything about limits. But generally, when you're getting up to that dollar amount, I would link a bank account or do a wire transfer because you're probably paying so much in fees at that point. Where Simplex is good is when it's just 50, 100, couple $100.
Or the Clever Wallet.
Right. And so yeah, once you're doing more than that, I would link a bank account. Like if you're trying to do Tron, Bittrex is a good one because A, it supports Tron, and B, it will link to the bank account. So that's a good one there.
So how heavy were the transaction fees on those transactions then?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody have any numbers on Simplex? Have you compared what the live? Because they don't, they tell you, okay, you're going to pay $100 and this is how much, Bitcoin or Ethereum or Tron you're going to get, but they don't break it down in the fees kind of thing. So I'm not sure there. But Renee, did you look at trying to link a bank account recently?
And I did that, and then they had an email that came. So that was initially because my bank was going to charge me $30 to wire transfer. So then we got the email that said, "Oh, we're going to do it automatically now. We're so excited." And so I went to try to do it, and it had the same old process. So then I sent a ticket in, but of course they responded saying, "Oh, we'll get right back to you," but I haven't heard from them. So anyway, yeah, that would be great if it just did it. But I think I also need to set up another checking account. So that was good advice.
Yeah,
Because
so-
it's my main checking account. I was trying to, because I'm just trying to figure out how this all works. So
Yeah, but so what was there a main error message or problem?
no, it's just the screen didn't change. It's just said I could only do a wire transfer. So
Okay,
the new application, maybe because I'm from Washington State, I don't know.
well, that's what I was wondering, if it was something with the banking regulation, but
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
Wells
banks are like
Fargo.
federal issues now. So,
So anyway, it just didn't. So I did try it. I was excited. So now I'm wondering, okay, which one should I use just so I can buy something? I mean, which exchange, if I'm just going to do one of the basics just to get going.
I would try Binance.us.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. Let me answer a couple more.
Because I bought some on Robinhood, but
Yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing this because I'm running out of screen real estate for a second there. Okay, let me get some of these other questions. I don't want to miss out anybody. Let's see. Gas cam, not a day trader, premium crypto world. What else? Okay, yeah, we're not really going to get into the which coins at this point, but the question about, is it a good idea to keep all those coins under one umbrella? That's yeah, it is best practice not to leave the crypto on an exchange, buy a hardware wallet, transfer them. Exactly. Oh, thank you, Deborah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So basically, you don't want to leave your coins on an exchange any longer than you have to. Think of an exchange like any other store, Home Depot, Vons, any kind of store where you're going to go in and buy something. You go there, you exchange your dollars for a loaf of bread and some milk, and you bring it home. You go to Home Depot and you buy some nails and you get the lumber and you bring it home. Do the same thing with the crypto exchanges. Take your Ethereum there, sell it for Bitcoin, and bring the Bitcoin home to your wallet. Whether that's and when I say that and bring it home, it needs to be a wallet that you control the private keys. It can be a hardware wallet, like you mentioned, Deborah, or it can be something even as simple as the Exodus wallet, which you can do on your phone and the desktop. I really like that one because you can do both. It gives you access to your private keys, so you're in complete control. That's what it comes down to. But if in whichever wallet you like, that's fine. There's the Trust wallet is also good for that. The Clever wallet allows you access to your private keys, and that kind of thing. Just make sure you have your seed phrases and your private keys backed up, because if it's on your phone and your phone gets run over in the parking lot because you dropped it, you want to have those seed phrases so you can buy a new phone and get that wallet restored over there, that kind of thing. And that's really why I like the Exodus so well, because my computer could go down. I've got the same wallet on my cell phone. My cell phone could get destroyed and I still got it on my computer, because hopefully I wouldn't lose the phone and the computer at the same time, type of thing. So
Brad?
yeah, great point.
Ed, your two-factor authentication from earlier.
Yeah.
Personal experience. When you set up Microsoft Authenticator, Google Authenticator, they have a key also. So if something happened to your iPhone where I had to actually re-download from the day before, none of those authenticators will work without the key to get set back up again. So it took me like 2 weeks on Coinbase because I had to have them dismiss the authenticator and reaffirm everything. So I didn't know that about the authenticators, but that's really important when you first set that up too.
Yeah, and they can be a challenge. I tried moving an authenticator from one phone to another, and I was not successful. So for sure, yeah. So that code comes up on Bittrex, on KuCoin, wherever, when you set it up, and so you want to write that down and store that, just like you're doing your 12 word seed phrases, that kind of thing. But yeah, kind of restoring that is really challenging because it's like resetting your password, but even more secure. So to do that is a big hill to get over for sure. Okay, let's see. Got it there. So that answers a couple of our questions. The centralized versus decentralized exchanges, we've only talked about the centralized exchanges so far. The decentralized ones are the ones that like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, that kind of thing. That's a little more advanced using the different wallets. And so, yeah, any questions there? I mean, we could talk about that a little more. I don't know how many people have tried that or even gone there yet.
I do a lot of business with the Voyager app, and I store a lot of the coins on Voyager based of their staking percentages that they give you for keeping crypto on there. I mean, they pay like USDC is 9%, Polkadot they're paying 12%. So when you've got a large amount of coins, if you taking it off into a wallet for safety versions, then you're kind of sacrificing, the payoff on the percentages that they're paying you. So there's that kind of challenge. And, do I want to protect my coins from being hacked, or do I want to get the percentages coming in?
That's a great, yeah, that's a great point.
That's my challenge on working with some of that stuff.
Yeah, no, and that's very real and very legitimate. There are some coins that have, their own wallets, like let's say Tezos. I don't know if I'm using them as an example because they do the staking. They might have their own wallet where you get your private key and everything. And as long as you keep it in that wallet, it's like their proprietary wallet, so to speak. Mm-hmm. You might get the staking rewards holding it in there. So you might want to check whichever coins you're dealing with. Look to see if that coin has their own wallet and will let you stake within that wallet as an alternative to being on an exchange or another service that is paying staking rewards, that kind of thing. Yeah, have you guys gotten into staking and like choosing one exchange over another because of the staking or the option to stake?
In fact, I'm looking at Voyager specifically for that too. So maybe just putting in 10% of a crypto portfolio for interest, or whatever percent I choose. I don't want to throw everything off the hard wallet, but I want to be able to bring in some interest. So I'll choose a certain percent to go ahead and do that because I'm very conservative and security conscious and, hacking phobic. So that's just my driver. Kraken stakes Polkadot, but I think Voyager pretty much stakes everything else, and their percent returns are great. But one of the things that I just learned I'm looking into now is APY versus APR. So basically your average percentage rate per year, which looks always much higher like on a Voyager. But then I looked at Gemini and they're doing APR, which is compounded. So that's probably even higher, even though the percentages show up as lower because it's defined differently. So, so I'm probably going to wind up doing a calculation across some of these exchanges to figure out, when I start staking, what that apples to apples is. Uh-huh. But anyway, I'm looking at Gemini right now for that reason, because it's compounded. And it may be higher actually than Voyager, which actually looks very attractive.
Yeah, I like the staking because we're earning, on our crypto, but it's just scary. I mean, that's like you said, Phil, that's just like that balancing beam. Where are we on there? Like you said, 10%, is that 10% safe and 90% staking, or the other way around? Obviously that's a personal preference as far as that goes. Okay, let's see what else we had covered on here. Yeah, can I stake my coins on an exchange? So Voyager, good for that. Maybe. Now I didn't mention when I had the screen shared, but KuCoin offers you the ability to actually lend your coins. And actually, let me get, it's just another option to, maybe make a little money. I'm going to log out of my account because it wouldn't let me. I don't have margin trading set up. That's a whole nother scary thing in itself, but it wouldn't let me go to that page like I was looking at it. Oh, come on, KuCoin. How we doing, Frank? Are you keeping up with us?
Yeah, but I can't talk because my raspy. I'm hoping my doctor next week will hear my voice. I got 8 million on what you're talking about, but I don't think you can hear me. So I'll just till. And yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I heard 8 million. That got my attention, but
I don't know if he's having bandwidth problems or
Yeah.
vocal cord issues.
Yeah. Okay, let me share this screen on the KuCoin just to see that option. Share screen. KuCoin. Yeah, so if you go under the finance tab here, they've got crypto lending. So you can lend different coins here and then see what options they have for that. So here an annualized rate of 3 or 4%, just for 14, 7, 28 days, may not be too bad. That kind of thing. So there's another option there. I mean, these annualized rates are higher than what mortgage companies are collecting on 30-year mortgage. So, and you're only doing it for 28 days. So, might be something to look at. And it looks like there's a ton of coins here. Wow. Yeah. So little research there if you want to look at that option. All right, Mike, how are we doing with you? Oh, got to unmute there for a second. I know you've been with us for a while. I'm not sure where you're at in your crypto journey.
Yeah, everything's been going pretty good. I put some more into the KuCoin, but I mean not KuCoin, but Tron, and then I've just been doing a ton of reading, trying to get caught up, trying to understand everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, have you dealt with many exchanges or delved into that?
No, I've been was reading up on the Polkadot, and I noticed some of the exchanges, you could stake them, get higher interest rates. I was trying to read more on the different exchanges and try to understand them more.
Okay. Yeah, and I know there was Polka Starter that somebody had talked about, and I jumped on 4 months ago, but I actually left it on the exchange, which obviously is against what I recommend. But it's an Ethereum-based coin, and I had like $100 worth of it, and they wanted $20 in transaction fees, and I'm like, I'm not paying $100 or $20 to move $100 worth of coins, so I left it there. So sometimes practical experience it comes down to more than ideal recommendations type of thing. So yeah, that's funny. Okay. All right, let's see what other questions we got. Safe. So yeah, they're not really safe on the exchange from the standpoint that if the exchange goes down, we lose out. I did lose out myself years ago on one called Cryptopia that was out in New Zealand, and I had a few coins on there. I had transferred everything off, but these few coins there's just like 2 of them, and it was maybe $50 a piece or something like that. But there wasn't like one wallet that I could put them to, and it was just more hassle. It was going to be more hassle to move them to like one coin to one wallet and one coin to another wallet. So I said, I'll leave them there and be good. But I lost out, and that's my experience. So, I won't forget that type of thing. So even though it's a hassle, it may be worth it in the long run. The other thing is if they decide to freeze accounts for some reason, or, who knows what's going on. We saw that kind of regularly back at the beginning of 2018 when volatility was crazy, and they would like freeze Ethereum, like even Coinbase would freeze Ethereum withdrawals for like 12 hours. And then 3 days later, they'd freeze Bitcoin withdrawals or whatever, because they get to a point where they don't actually have enough coins. The exchange doesn't have enough coins to send you. So they have to freeze withdrawals. And if we're expecting to use those or wanting to use those somewhere else and we're frozen for 12 hours, it's not cool. So if you've got, say you've got 10 Bitcoin and you're trading one of them daily, just keep that one on the exchange and trade that. Keep your other 9 Bitcoin in your hardware wallet type of thing. So you don't want to keep anything extra there that you don't need to.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to be settling on 3 exchanges. I haven't even done withdrawals yet to fiat, because right now with the deposits from a bank account to fiat, I haven't had a problem, but potentially, withdrawals from some of these places to a bank may raise certain flags. And I haven't tested that out yet. That has to be done.
Yeah. And they may have different limits for that, as well. Hopefully that'll be a problem for all of us.
You could actually consider paying for things directly from your crypto account. You could also create a business, which is specifically you, and withdraw to that.
Yeah, I've set up a crypto.com account, which you have to use their app. You can't use their website in the US. You have to use their crypto.com app. And then they offer a debit card. So what you can do is you can transfer the crypto to your account there, and then they call it topping off your debit card with the crypto funds. But I did find that for topping off, they only support about 6 coins for that, where I transferred some Binance coin over to top off my debit card. But you can't do that with Binance. It wasn't one of their supported coins. They basically support the big boys, the Bitcoin, Ethereum.
They also have their own coin.
Yeah, and then they pay you and that was part of my reason for doing it, is when you use the debit card, they pay you rewards starting at 1% and going up in Crow, which is their own coin. Exactly. And you end up getting a bank account with it's like Metropolitan Commercial Bank or something like that, with a routing number and account number, so you can transfer funds to that account and then top off the debit card. I'm actually doing that now as for my daily, buying gas, buying groceries.
Andy actually mentioned that he's using his Coinbase debit card. When did that become available? As far as I am aware, everyone is yet waitlisted.
Oh yeah.
I applied super early when the availability was available to everyone. So I got it probably like 2 weeks ago, and
oh good.
Collecting 4% on XLM, converting it to DAI once it hits my wallet, and being in a stable coin called DAI.
How much longer should it be before we have use of the Coinbase card?
It depends on when you submitted your application. I have no clue. I know I was super early.
Start of the year, roughly?
I have no clue. I wish I would.
They've got so many. Yeah, Coinbase has so many customers.
Right, the wait list is pretty
20,000,
long.
50,000 a month. It could take a year, a year. I don't know. I know I got on the list
with
too.
Coinbase, I submitted a ticket and it was approximately 8 months before I heard from them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Coinbase.
Yeah, I did. After Coinbase went public, there was, different stories about them and all that. And I saw one where the guy, their first employee, had kind of just stumbled in there or whatever, and he ended up doing their customer service, and they had 200,000 customers before they hired somebody else to do support tickets. So I don't know if that's their ratio now, 200,000 customers to one support rep, but that's what it was at the beginning. But a lot of people aren't even using their account, so they're not even active as far as that goes. Okay, so let's see, what was the name of the?
Just have a question, Brad.
Yeah, go ahead.
On the exchange, has anybody used Gate.io or any input, good or bad?
I'm not familiar with that. Let me pull that up here and see. Okay. I need a third monitor. Yeah.
A lot of people reference Skate.
You can actually if you try getting a Fire Stick, plugging it into the HDMI port on your TV, and then you can do a display mirror and use that as a monitor.
Oh, there you go. Okay. All right, let's see. Gate.io. Yeah. The front page looks like all the other ones. Yeah, I'll have to look at that one later. This looks like they've got a mobile app. Oh, they say, okay, you're currently browsing the Gate alternative domain name. What? For a more stable client, use the download. So it looks like they've got a Windows and a Mac program to use as well. And then sounds like they recommend that over their browser, the web-based version. So that's interesting. But I think that's a positive. They've developed their own app. Yeah, interesting. Gabe, where did you hear about that one, or what's the driving force behind it? Or
Oh, well, I Googled it and I got some pretty good reviews. They're located in the Cayman Islands, and
Okay.
they do carry more coins than like Binance USA, because I was looking for a particular coin.
Yeah, do they support US customers?
Yes, they do.
Okay, that's the other challenge. Good. I'm sorry, I jumped in on somebody. Go ahead.
Yeah, no problem, Brad. There are actually two YouTube guys I listen to pretty regularly for education. Coin Bureau on YouTube. So if you put in Coin Bureau Gate.io, he's got a video, 13-minute video on Gate. Their information is typically really solid. So if you want an overview of it, go to them. And he's very honest, if he doesn't like something or if something is new, he'll phrase it properly. If he likes something, he'll let you know as well. But they're pretty knowledgeable information. You can look that up.
Okay. Let me try to fill out our spreadsheet here a little bit. Under more than one exchange, let's just make a list. I'm going to start with Binance.us, KuCoin. Next. What would you say would be the next, like the third one to look at?
Well, Coinbase Pro.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put Coinbase and Coinbase, / Coinbase Pro. Okay. Yeah, I link. Yeah. Okay.
I like the Voyager app a lot.
Okay.
Just how it functions and works and trades, and you can tell where your percentages are up and down, if you're getting gains or you're losing for the day, exactly where you're at. The graphs are clean. You put in 5,000 off of your account, it's immediately available for trading, like that minute.
And technically, just to be picky, Voyager is actually not described as an exchange; it's a broker. So we're actually looking at the same thing for function.
Oh, gotcha.
Brokers and exchanges, but technically, Voyager describes themselves as a broker versus an exchange.
How is that different?
Interesting. Yeah.
I think it has to do with SEC type paperwork or, whatever documentation. I haven't looked into it to understand the difference yet, but I heard Michael, the CEO, specify that.
Is that safer to stake coins on versus an exchange?
Truthfully, the way things are today, because nothing is insured, technically.
Right.
We don't have an FDIC insuring up to $200,000 on an account. So they're I think it's moot. I think you just have to look at who their affiliates are. It's just like anything else, like Gemini or Gemini Capital or BlockFi. They're all associated with other entities like Fidelity or whatever to cover these types of things, but nothing's guaranteed. So it's probably an open question at this point.
Yeah, and good point that nothing's guaranteed, and that's why we don't want to keep anything on there longer than we have to, kind of thing. Yeah, okay. Okay, so stake, yeah. All right, I'm just gonna have to look at Voyager, I guess. It's one of those things that when you have to download the app and do all that, I'm like, but I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. Good.
And I'm going to be looking again at Kraken and Gemini. Kraken because it's the most secure. It's known as the most secure network. And Gemini just because those Winklevoss guys are pretty bright. And I gotta at least look there and see what they're up to.
Yeah, Kraken was one of the very first ones, and I had an account there and never really used it. But they're just hanging around. Obviously, they're doing something right to be around that long, and I know that they're kind of got into the staking a fair amount type of thing. So that's good, because sometimes they'll come out and they won't keep up with the latest, whatever the latest features are and that kind of thing. But that's good.
They tout themselves as the most secure network, and you can stake Polkadot. Those are the two things they have going for them.
Okay.
The downside is that you have to wire money in, so you're tying up money, which, I don't care for. But I'll do my due diligence and check them out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions? Gloria, any questions from you? I know you've got a couple exchanges.
No, I'm good.
You're good. All right. Let's see.
But I do, has anybody heard when Theta's going to be selling on Coinbase?
That's been like the question for like 18 months.
Yeah.
But I'm ready because, it should have that Coinbase effect and, go shooting up. Although I'm wondering if that's less and less since they support so many coins now. I mean, it used to be when they only had 6 coins that when, the 7th one got added, it went shooting up. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, staking coins. All right. Anybody else got a question? Addie, we haven't heard from you, or Karen? Any questions?
I had an issue with trying to do the KYC for my Binance.us. I guess there's so many holographs on the Florida driver's license that it couldn't do the facial recognition. It kept failing it.
Oh, okay.
So I think I'm going to try it again with the passport, see if I have better luck.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm amazed at how fast you send a picture and they do what they do in like 30 seconds. They're like, okay, you're good. And I'm like, wow, what kind of databases are you going through to figure that out? So that's interesting though, and a good point. Yeah. Let us know if the passport, hopefully that'll work better.
I'll keep you posted.
Okay, good. All right, Jesse, how are you doing? I know because you're doing some decentralized stuff, right?
Nope, I'm actually new. It's my first time here, so just checking it out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I must be getting you confused with somebody else. I apologize.
No, that's all right. It's my first time here. I'm from Fresno. I've traded some on my own, but I'm excited to meet some more people around here who are doing it. Learning a lot.
Excuse me. Which exchanges are you on? Or have you used?
I have just getting started with actually going into the exchanges. So going into like Coinbase, and I have heard of Kraken. I had a friend recommend Kraken. And just to play, I traded a little bit on Robinhood crypto because I had that, but then I just pulled everything out and that didn't feel like, I think I had the same intuitive feeling that you did where I was like, I don't have a wallet. I don't want to be working on there. It doesn't feel like the right thing. And it felt limited, but it felt like I was dipping my toes into it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, it's interesting.
You have Coinbase. Set up a Coinbase Pro account, same ID, same password.
Mhm.
Fees are significantly less.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start as so it sounds, so you're saying it sounds like start on Coinbase, and just start there is a good place to go. The fees are not bad.
And no, the fees are high on Coinbase. That's why she's saying Coinbase Pro is kind of like their
Coinbase Pro, right?
sister exchange.
Yeah, and
Um,
there's no cost to transfer your account over
Mhm.
because it's the same company, different interface.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
It basically, Coinbase Pro is marketed to newbies
Mhm.
and it's high fees. Coinbase Pro looks very busy. You know, their site looks very busy because you've got all the trading information. But when you get beyond that, you know, if you're just buying or selling, you know, you'll figure it out pretty straightforward. But where you're paying 1 point something percent on Coinbase, you'll pay a third of it,
Mhm.
0.35% on Coinbase Pro.
Got it. How much is the Pro? And that it sounds like that works out for, I'm assuming Pro costs a certain amount each month or?
No, it's no charge. Not
Oh,
a
got it.
And then, because you are on Coinbase, you just set up your account on, you know, Coinbase Pro app or CoinbasePro.com. And it's the same ID and the same password. It will recognize you automatically.
Got it. Okay.
Just
Thank you for
transfer
explaining
everything
that.
over, and you just do your trading there. You still use Coinbase for your research or whatever.
Yeah. Thank you. That makes sense.
yeah, and we can transfer the funds in on Coinbase. They got that link. Yeah. Good. Okay. Jesse, let me pick on you for just another second. We've got about half and half of Fresno people and non-Fresno people.
Mhm.
We started out in Fresno 3.5 years ago. COVID, we went Zoom and you know, been able to meet people all over the place, which is good. We did a little event on Bitcoin Pizza Day where we actually met in person for the first time since COVID. That was fun. And so other people have said, hey, you know, I'd like to come in person. And it's like they didn't want to come on the Zoom, but you know, which I don't understand, you know, it's like we all Zoom now. So I'm trying to, so I thought maybe it would be good to meet in person like once every 3 months. What, from your perspective, what would that be good? Would you know, what would you like to see meeting in person that we can't do on Zoom? That kind of thing.
I guess I would offer to turn it back to you of also what are your hopes of the community that you're creating? It sounds like, especially with COVID, there's opportunity with having it online and that having more people. And it sounds like there are people outside. So I'd hate to have them not feel like they can't be there, but I also think it's valuable to have a local community. And I think every 2 or 3 months would make sense. Sometimes it is nice to all get together around and have a beer and have your laptop out and talk about some questions and things. So I see the value of that and I would love to participate in that.
Okay. Good feedback. Yeah, no, when we first started meeting, it was a lot of people were like, oh, it's good to meet other crypto people because I feel like, you know, I'm the only one that knows or talks about crypto. So there was that instant, like, you know, gravitating towards each other. But it seems like the Zoom meetings are almost more productive because we can screen share and we can just jump on and do things like that. So I'm just trying to get some feedback. But yeah, I don't want to, that's the hard part. I don't want to feel like we're leaving people out. So I know there's one
Sometimes
guy.
it's good to get people time nowadays, just
oh, for sure.
Every couple months get some people time and have it serve a different purpose a little bit. Sometimes you get into a different mindset when you're sitting around talking to people and you can get a little more expansive, a little more creative, as opposed to sticking just into that focused Zoom mindset.
Yeah. And there were times when we were meeting in person, actually several times, that people brought their laptops, we set up their ledger or their Trezor or that kind of thing, because they needed somebody right there to help them click this or
I love that.
that kind of thing.
It feels
So,
good to have someone there with you in the presence, I think.
right. No, good. Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Appreciate that feedback. Okay. Let me double check.
Brad,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd say the same thing that Jesse said. You know me, I'm brand spanking new at this stuff. My elbow with my computer, I'm lost. So I think having meetings and rub elbows with someone and talk a little bit about on, or you could, I'm having trouble with this. And the person sitting next to you says, do this, do this, do this on your computer or on your tablet, and bingo, it's done.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And that was my original goal with the group, was just to get people signed up with a Coinbase account, transfer $100 over there, buy it, 25 bucks worth of Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, and just get them started. Now we're kind of past that because it's so easy to do these things. We're doing it on our phones and that kind of thing, but there's still the next thing. Well, how do I do this? How do I do that? And yeah, good. Okay. Any last minute thoughts or comments on the exchanges?
I have a general question regarding Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. If you're on Coinbase, for example, I want to do something simple like exchange Ethereum and Bitcoin. And when you're on Coinbase, they actually have an exchange button. So it's not like I got to sell Bitcoin into fiat or some altcoin, to get a fee and take time and then buy, something like Ethereum or something else. So it's easy. It's an actual click button that says exchange. I went to Coinbase Pro to look for that, could not find it. So I wound up, selling out of Bitcoin, selling into another coin. Has anybody done an exchange on Coinbase Pro?
What exactly is the difference between Coinbase and Coinbase Pro?
Um,
Isn't it all the same company?
Same company, different interface. Again, Coinbase is what everybody usually signs up to. If you're not a trader, they call Pro as in trader. But what most people don't, and it's clean and it's a nice user interface.
I actually have the app. I don't know the difference between the two apps, and I actually do trade.
Okay, well, Coinbase Pro, you'll have your trading screen. You can do.
You can use limit orders.
Yeah, you can do more
buy orders.
stuff, right?
So I could actually set a stop loss and a take profit line. Take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3 on it.
I have not gotten into it. I'm not a trader, but you can do to some extent. You'll have to look at it.
Or is it a situation where I place a trade for a minute or two?
I can't answer since I don't trade, but you'll have to jump on and have a look.
Set limit orders for 30 days, depending on how you trade.
Okay. Typically, it's more day trading. Longest I've ever been in a trade was 2 hours.
Yeah, I got to think there are better sites, but you'll have to take a look at it. But anyway, yeah, so that was just a simple question, Brad. I don't know if you have ever exchanged on something like Coinbase Pro or anybody else.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Oh, between like maybe
Ethereum to Bitcoin.
I guess as long as there's a trading pair for the two that you're trading, that's an option. But if there's not a,
No, there's a Bitcoin Ethereum trading pair, I believe. I have to look.
Yeah, there should be.
Yeah, there should be, but for some reason it did not work. All the more reason to have, either an in-person meeting.
Amen.
Or Brad, I know we talked about maybe doing like a spreadsheet, with contact info. It'd be nice even to do one-on-one if somebody, I could send out a question and then we could Zoom and, kind of just, I could meet with one person who might be able to help with the question, from this group occasionally. I can put something together for you if you want, a little spreadsheet.
Yeah, that would be good. Let's see, let me.
We'll put it on Google. You can put it on Google Docs, and then people can add their names and contact info, whatever they.
Yeah, if they feel comfortable, they can do it. And if they don't, they don't. That's a good idea.
And then I'll put my interests, like near term, long term. I need help now. Help now, the column.
Let me just share. Let's see if this is the right one. Okay, so this is our the meetup homepage. Wait, now it's not sharing the right thing. Oh God. All right, where is that third monitor?
I told you, plug into your TV.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So here, here's the homepage on Meetup. If you click on the event page, we can leave comments, down here below, for that event. Or if you click on the group, there's a similar comment thing down here, like people have been leaving. So if you want to leave messages within the group, we have that option there. And then we can also
forgot about that.
Look at the attendees, and then you could click on each one. Come on. And you could we can send each other a private message if you want to do that. So if I wanted to send you a message, Deborah, I could just click on you and then message you, that kind of thing. So there's that option too on there. But yeah, I think the Google Doc would be good. I'd
like to keep it up with, certain interests.
Yeah. And then that might help spawn off, other topics. If there's 7 people interested in X, we'll do a thing on X. Let me show just on the Coinbase real quick. So this is the homepage on Coinbase, very pretty looking. Again, I don't have anything. Oh, I think I've got $8. Yeah. In Coinbase, don't keep much there. If we go over to Coinbase Pro, which is actually pro.coinbase, now if you click on, since I'm logged in the other one, it should log me straight in. Yeah. And somebody mentioned before the limit orders, which that's the big difference between, a true exchange where you can put a limit order, stops, and that kind of thing, as opposed to just trading right now. So yeah, this gives you the busy trader looking charts and that kind of stuff. But if you are trading actively, then you definitely want to go here and do less. So yeah, if we had Bitcoin.
Yes, so maybe there isn't a Bitcoin ETH. Well, there it is. But yeah, okay, so you click on that. Now I did all this, but it did not go through. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, so here you would say, you just.
Yeah, you have to do a conversion, from Bitcoin to ETH. It's not in dollars, obviously.
Right.
You have to know what you're doing. But here's the thing. Then you're looking at the trading history in the order book. And then you got to figure out, well, do I want to market or limit? And then what number do I put in? And yeah, so it's a bit of a
yeah. Now they're making it a little easier in the sense that you could just put max. You click on like the max and it'll show you that. Some of them will have like 25, 50, 75, 100%. You just click on that.
Yeah. No, I like to buy, for example, I like to buy it in rounder numbers. So maybe I want to buy 5 ETH, or whatever, in dollars.
Well, usually like when you do a limit one, you can usually do that. And you could put in like 5.
Yeah, but then you got to figure out the price, the limit price. And it's like, I just will do the market, but that doesn't give you that option.
Well, it's got a market. The market's right here.
Yeah, but then it doesn't.
So then your only choice is how much. You don't get to pick the price in the market because it's the market.
Right. Yeah.
But
I don't know. I think I had more issues. So I guess I need a one-on-one.
Okay. Yeah, you'll get it. You got all these other things,
So actually, this is a candle chart. So where things are solid, that is an actual movement of price up, where you see that little piece at the top or bottom, those are referred to as wicks. So it either tried to go up or down or both, but then it had a solid price movement where the bar is solid.
Yeah.
And when you look at this, because all of this, regardless of the fact that it's on a candle chart, it all moves in a sine and a cosine wave. So it's a matter of measuring the space between the periods to ascertain where it will actually move.
Yeah, and whether it's going up or down, I'm not, again, I'm not caring since I'm just holding. So I don't care if.
Well, actually, you
if there's
should, because you can make money in the middle of those. For instance, this move here, where you look at the downward move under the word price chart. So that was at 1800 to 2000, meaning 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. You could actually place a trade expecting the market to go down and make money there.
Yeah, I've done that. At 2 a.m.
Hey,
but
what? I love the Hong Kong, Sydney, and London session. It is my favorite time to trade. I have literally sat down and at $20 to $30 a trade, and I rolled a few of them to the point where I was sitting in it for an hour and a half actually. But I've gone from 600 to 1600 in my account in an evening at 20 to 30 to 60 bucks a trade with a few rolls off of that session. It's a great session to trade.
Sounds like such an
It's a
amusement.
24/7 thing. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
You got to have a strong stomach for that.
Actually, no, you don't need a strong stomach. What you need is discipline.
Yeah.
And persistence and accuracy. Because when you're accurate, you place trades in the proper situation.
I got a book, Crypto Trader.
Okay, so the main thing I give people when I start teaching them to trade is a trigonometry textbook. Because this is all wave theory.
And I remember telling my trig professor, I'll never need to know this.
Bullshit. They should actually teach this in school with trading software on a computer in front of people, because this is one of the places it can be utilized. And when you comprehend this and then you stretch it out into a three-dimensional area, you can actually comprehend homeostasis from a quantum physics standpoint.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Do you usually do, it sounds like you do day trading, and that sounds like very precise. Do you ever do swing trading? I usually find myself swing trading. It's a little bit less pressure. If there's still a little bit of a pattern.
The only thing I think of when I hear swinging is something different.
Well, that's your mind, but you're talking about swing trading here.
Yeah, trading during swinging, that's perfectly normal.
All right, so maybe that terminology doesn't make sense. It's trading over the course of a pattern that happens over a day or two, as opposed to the course of an hour.
That does make sense. I am fully open to that because all that is accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that is much easier than placing a trade for 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's your take on the market conditions now? Bullish, bearish?
I personally don't care. I will make money regardless.
Well, Grayscale is allowing, is opening up all the locked accounts on the 14th of this month. So I've heard both sides of this coin. They've already unlocked, I don't know, like 35,000. I think there's another, I'd have to look it up, how many thousand coins are going to be. They're not selling coins, they're a trust, but the investors will have monies freed up. So the talk is that between the 14th and the 17th, if there's any kind of, it may be a little more frothy, a little more volatile with respect to Bitcoin, and so goes Bitcoin, the rest of the market. But it's still trading sideways quite a bit. But there's a lot of accumulation with the wallets on just the regular blockchain raw data. I'm not expecting any real, I believe we're still in a bull market. And I am expecting actually the peak not to come in September of this year like it has in past years. I'm expecting it to come really more first quarter of 2022, because I believe that's when most of the public corporations who have been researching how to get Bitcoin on the books, that'll give them about 6 to 9 months since some of the conferences have taken place to start announcing that stuff.
Did anyone see that bit I added to the chat at the start of our meeting today?
No, what?
Okay, so
The whole paragraph here. Yeah.
Someone is doing one of the large financial firms is doing something with Coinbase to offer crypto investing and trading,
the IRA,
as an investment thing. And actually, if you will, Brad, if you'll deactivate, I will show something on a financial screen.
Oh yeah, you want to share? You can share. Yeah,
I can. I'm opening something up to do that now, actually.
Yeah, I think you should be able to share.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Right.
we'll wrap it up here in a few minutes, but I always like this interaction and just, see what people are thinking and doing, and because one person can't keep up with crypto, so that's where we can help each other for sure.
Well, actually, I'm watching the way the market's moving. Okay, so right here, you see this moving here, right?
Okay.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, back.
Yeah.
And that's left side of the screen. Okay.
Okay, so this, because of the way the market has gone. So this here, you can actually see the date down here. This is at 16:14 hours on the 10th. Okay.
Is that a daily or 1 minute chart?
No, this is by the minute.
that's earlier from today, the 10th.
Yes. This is on UTC time. So this is as of 2.5 hours ago. So back here would be a good place to place a buy, where you buy the currency, and you would only go in for anywhere probably 10 minutes, because then you would end up somewhere over here and it would actually be up here, because when you count these, that was too far.
Do you use
all right.
Heikin-Ashi candles?
These are candles, yes. So when you
use Heikin-Ashi?
when you actually count these are literally by the minute. So if you place a 10-minute trade, you're ending here, and you started over here. And then when it, because of the volatility of it, you wouldn't place a trade back here, because this is more of a consolidation zone. And when the market does that, it's completely tits up. Because Bitcoin started up, or it started low at the start of the year, and then it peaked at 65, and then it literally dropped nearly through the floor, and then it slowly but surely climbed back up, and now it's actually leveled out a bit.
Yeah.
So
what is it about that moment that happened? Because you can see it in retrospect, but as you were planning for that moment to happen, what was it that you saw in the candles that made you say that that was the moment to go? Because you can see it in retrospect, and it does seem like there's not a lot of movement right beforehand. But what actually tells you that there's going to be a rise after that?
Okay,
that might be a can of worms kind of question that will take 10 hours to answer. But if there's a short 30-second version, that'd be helpful.
Okay, so this is literally space between periods. When you look at this the essential line is this, okay? And then it comes down and then it pops up. So it's literally the space between each top. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is this
So-
a 9/9s type of thing when things reverse?
9/9. What are
Do
you
you
talking
apply
about?
moving averages to your chart?
Um,
No. This is sine and cosine. This is wave theory. Because when you zoom out a little further, you will actually see how this popped up and back and forth. And so you can see how far apart these periods are. I also have predictive software that I utilize, which runs similar algorithms. And I frequently place a call or a put when I frequently place a call when it says put, and I place a put when it says call, because I watch the wave and I watch for confirmation candles. So when you're doing this, you can actually track how it's moving on a daily basis. And typically, Bitcoin has not been this volatile, which has actually been crap for making money with Bitcoin, because this is only returning 60%. And it has typically stayed in the 60% zone because it's not had a lot of upward movement.
So would you long right now or short?
I would do short investments with Bitcoin at the moment, unless you are interested in the overall long term and you buy and you hold. Because when you look at this right here, here's one spot, here's another spot. So when you're looking at the space between periods, you have all of these smaller periods, meaning the space between each top, and then you can see a wave in it, but essentially it has remained consistent because this line across here, okay, right there, it went up and it danced around for a little bit and then it returned. And so that that literally lasted approximately 8 hours, which means that's the trading cycle. That's when people are actually sitting down, going to work.
Oh, okay.
So there's
So I
a
think
little
we're
bit
gonna
of
have to
human
put,
involvement in the market, which can adjust it. But when everything was said and done, it was right back where it started. The market pretty much broke even. However, when you step back a little further, you can also see where it actually stepped up a bit and found a new consistent high. So while it had this dancing around through this entire area, this is the zone that it remained in. So up here would be a resistance zone, and down here would be a support zone. And it didn't break the resistance zone, and it returned to its support zone.
yeah, so I think we're gonna have to put trading on the agenda for a future meeting.
Actually, I have a link I dropped in the Telegram chat for those of you who would be interested in learning more. I have an opportunity to extend, which will benefit everyone.
Okay, yeah, so check that out in the chat.
And it will pick up immediately after following this call.
Sounds good.
The only thing required for it is that you're willing to bet on yourself, the same way you do with buying different cryptocurrencies.
There you go. Did you have a comment, Deborah? It looks like you're,
Yeah, I just want to mention something because of the timing right now in the market. If anybody's bought cryptocurrency higher than what it's trading today, right, at 33K. And I just learned about this because I happen to be selling a property this year, next month. So I'm going to be facing some capital gains. And what I learned is something called tax loss harvesting. And Brad, I'm going to send you a little article about that. You can make it available to the group. I'll forward that to you. So this is from
Make sure I get a copy.
Crypto Trader. And it's a very quick description. So here's the deal. Any Bitcoin I bought for over 33K, let's say I bought some Bitcoin at 50, Okay, and it went down to 35. And I actually did this last week. That's a 15K loss because Bitcoin is property and not an equity. So here's the deal with equities. You can't sell Apple or any other stock, claim a loss at a lower price than you paid for it, and then buy it back right away. The law is that you have to wait 30 days before you do that, because you don't want people claiming losses all the time, then getting right back into the market where they started, right? That makes sense. But on property, that rule does not extend to property. And you may surmise it'll probably catch up at some point with crypto, because crypto is considered property, labeled property by the IRS. You can actually do that right now. And it's probably because if you sell a house, it's going to take more than 30 days to do a 1031 or buy something else. But right now with crypto, it's considered property. You can technically sell your Bitcoin at, let's say, 35 or 33, take that 15K loss or whatever proportion is, and you can actually, and apply that to any capital gains you might be facing this year. And if you have more loss than gain, it rolls over.
That's similar to coin in and coin out when you gamble.
So for me, for anybody, quite frankly, if you're going to be seeing any capital gains, you may as well take advantage of the drop right now. So I'm looking at the drop and I'm going, okay, fine. You know, maybe if it drops 5K or 10K, I'll follow it down. I'll bank those losses, those capital losses, and on my taxes this year or over the next few years, just keep rolling it over against any gains I might have in the future. So I want to mention that now. We may still be getting Bitcoin consolidation through the end of August, who knows? But, you know, I'm just going to write it down. When it drops again to, you know, if there's some talk, you know, maybe Bitcoin could do one more drop down around the 25, 27, or maybe worst case 20.
Actually, I've heard that it may,
15K.
we may see 12 to 15 again.
Well, whatever. I'll just buy, you know, sell, buy, sell, buy. I'll just get right back
The
in.
200, the
And
200 moving
I'll just
average.
take those, I'll book those losses.
And Deborah, I just want to ask to be sure that you're not holding through all of that. You're actually just buying, selling, and taking the losses. So they're recorded losses.
Technically, I'm selling.
Yeah.
Then I'm coming right back in, I'm buying. Now,
they're recorded
you
losses.
don't have to. If you think it's going to keep going down, then hold it. But I'm not that kind of person. I'm busy during the day. So, you know, for me, I'm just gonna sell it. I'll buy back in. Maybe it'll be lower. It'll cover my fees. Maybe not. Doesn't matter. In the great scheme of things, because the loss I'm booking, you know, is greater in value to me than, you know, whatever the fee is.
Yeah, and I think Andy was trying to jump in there. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, definitely the 200-week moving average is the target. Once we broke the 20-week, which we haven't tested the 20-week since it was 6 months ago. And once we retested the 20 and the 20-week did not support it, we're definitely in a bear market. This is going down to the 200-week moving average. If you look at the chart on the weekly, there's a cycle pattern. It always goes down to the 200-week moving average. That's the buy zone.
So, you know, if you're a long-term holder, you're not, you know, it's 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, right? You're a long-term holder. This stuff isn't going to phase you if you're confident about your Bitcoin. But I do want to take advantage of capital losses, and I may as well harvest those. That's why it's called tax loss harvesting. You know, for the future, when I do decide to cash something out or sell some property or realize some type of capital gain somewhere.
All right, and just to confirm, this isn't financial advice.
It is not.
Please consult your tax advisor. Right. But it's good that we can share ideas with each other.
From a simple mathematical perspective, that let's say, you know, you happen to buy Stellar Lumens or whatever, and it went as high as 76 cents, and then it dropped 26, and you buy a bunch more, you can then actually average so that you and spent less on all of it, and it's not as much of a loss.
So let's see, I can attach a file here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Jesse, I'll get that in a second here. Yeah, go ahead. So I'm not thinking faster than I'm looking here. Yeah, you're gonna put a file in chat? Is that where you're gonna put it?
I was just looking to see how I can do that. Otherwise, I just send it to you, Brad.
Yeah, I think if you, just click file there
Yeah.
and it'll do it. But what we all need to do is grab it before the Zoom is over.
Oh, okay.
But,
Get there.
or if you want to email it to me, I'll post it somewhere and put a link in the,
You could also drop it into the Telegram chat, and then people could download it from there.
Yeah, I'm on documents. Oh, let me just get into my area. There we go. Just take 1 second.
okay, yeah, this Telegram chat is one that I'm involved in with some other folks that were, well, it's a small group of us, but let me, where do I else have
I
it?
started another group. You're welcome to add it there.
Okay.
That way we can have something separate if we need it.
Okay, did it go out?
Yeah,
Ah, yes, here it is.
there.
Okay. So up top is the link to the website. And basically, I couldn't download it. I just cut and pasted everything. And I put the link on top so you can go directly to the article.
Beautiful.
Okay, and here is the Telegram link. Okay, oh, good. I'm gonna grab that, Deborah, so I can put it somewhere and link it to everybody else. And all that. So that's good. Okay, and yeah, I'm also gonna put a link here. I do some classes beyond this stuff and some individual coaching and teaching on cryptos. If you got people that are just trying to get into it and you're you don't want to answer all their basic newbie questions, send them to me and I'll help them out, kind of thing. Like Frank has found, I've mentioned that, or I found that sometimes people just need that little extra hand holding to get them going, type of thing. So I'm trying to do that. But other than my full-time job, I'm like full-time crypto the rest of the clock. So I try to do as much of this monthly and kind of some group classes because I just run out of time. So I'm trying to do as much as I can wherever I can. But yeah, and actually let me put my contact info here as well. Yeah, so good. All right, guys, we will be back next month and be talking crypto IRAs, and hope to see you guys Telegram, email, texting, however we communicate with each other, and we'll go from there. Have a great rest of your day. For those of us here in California, do your best to stay cool, and see you next month.
Thank you.
Bye, Brad.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.